The golden sun slowly rose over the endless plains of the Serengeti, casting a warm glow across the tall, swaying grass. Each blade shimmered in hues of amber and gold, painting the land in colors of life and warmth. The soft rustling of acacia leaves danced with the early morning breeze. Birds filled the sky with cheerful songs. Unaware of the story, it was about to unfold one of pain, courage, and an unexpected bond between two very different worlds. Deep in a hidden corner of this vast wilderness, a lioness named Nia lay. In the grass beside her cub. Jabari, her only child, was full of life, his golden eyes wide with curiosity. He pounced clumsily on fallen leaves and chased insects that sparkled in the sunlight. Every step he took was an adventure. Every sound was a mystery waiting to be solved. Nia watched her cub with a deep, protective love in her eyes. He was her everything, her purpose, her pride. For several peaceful days, Nia and Jabari had roamed this part of the reserve freely. It was a quiet stretch of land, untouched by danger. Jabari had begun exploring with more confidence. His movements, though unsteady, had grown bold. That morning, something caught his eye, a tall tree standing proudly alone in the grassland. It was old and strong, with bark rough and thick, a perfect challenge for a young cub eager to prove his strength. Jabari approached the tree with excitement sparkling in his gaze. He dug his tiny claws into the bark and began to climb. His first attempt was clumsy, but he did not give up. With each try, he made it a little higher. Nia remained still, her eyes never leaving him. She knew this was how he would learn, by trying, by falling, and by rising again. But what she could not see was the danger waiting high above. A dry branch, weakened by wind and age, hung just over Jabari's head. As he climbed, a sudden gust shook the tree. The fragile limbs snapped with a sharp, echoing crack. Time seemed to slow. Jabari lost his grip and fell. The sound of his body hitting the ground cut through the stillness like a scream. Nia leapt to her feet, her heart pounding in her chest. She rushed to her son's side. Jabari lay motionless, a soft whimper escaping his mouth. His legs were twisted unnaturally, and his breathing was shallow. The playful light in his eyes had faded, replaced by pain and fear. Nia's body trembled. Her powerful paws hovered over him, unsure of what to do. She nudged him gently, but he could not stand. Around her, the wild remained still, but danger was always near. Injured animals never lasted long in the savannah. The scent of weakness would soon draw predators, hyenas, with their mocking laughter, leopards hidden in trees, and even other lions driven by survival. Nia knew the wild showed no mercy. She had to make a choice, and quickly. She looked to the horizon. Grass stretched endlessly, with no sign of help. Her instincts screamed for her to hide, to shield her son from the world. But another memory stirred an old tale passed down by elders of the pride. Stories about strange creatures who walked on two legs. These beings could be cruel, but some were said to heal the wounded. She had never seen them. She had never believed in them. But in that moment, with her cub's life slipping away, she chose hope. Gently, she picked Jabari up by the scruff of his neck, careful not to cause more pain. His small body hung limply from her mouth. Step by step, she began a journey into the unknown. Every stride was filled with fear. She did not know where the humans were. She did not know if they would harm her. But she had no other path. Her heart beat with one purpose, to save her child. Far away, in the center of the reserve, a team of rangers was on patrol. Riding in an open-roof vehicle, they scanned the land for signs of trouble. At the front sat Daniel, a ranger with years of experience. He had witnessed the harshest parts of nature birth, death, rescue, and loss. But nothing in his past could prepare him for what was coming. As the jeep rolled down a dusty path, Daniel squinted at a shape moving in the distance. At first, he thought it was just another lioness. But something was different. She was walking toward them boldly, directly, and she carried something. His hands gripped the steering wheel tightly. He told his team to stay calm, but alert. The vehicle slowed to a crawl as the lioness entered the clearing. Her golden coat gleamed in the sunlight. Muscles tight with tension, her steps were precise. The air grew still. The other rangers watched in stunned silence. Daniel's breath caught in his throat when he realized what she held, a cub, limp and silent. With slow, deliberate movements, the lioness placed the cub on the ground in front of the jeep and took a single step back. She looked at Daniel, her eyes full of emotion, fear, pain, and something more. Trust. In that one gaze, a message passed. Between them, she was asking for help. Daniel opened the door and stepped out. His heart pounded, and every instinct told him to be cautious. The lioness could attack at any moment. But she did not growl. She did not bare her teeth. She stood her ground and waited. He knelt beside the cub, carefully examining the injuries. Jabari's breathing was weak, his legs swollen. "He is hurt," Daniel whispered, more to himself than anyone else. But he might recover. He signaled to his team. One of them tossed a medical kit. Every move Daniel made was slow, his eyes constantly flicking back to the lioness. She watched him with fierce intensity. One wrong motion, and the moment could turn deadly. He cleaned the wounds with antiseptic and wrapped the injured leg with soft bandages. He injected a mild pain reliever, hoping it would ease the cub's suffering. All the while, the lioness remained still, her gaze locked on her son. Not a single sound came from the grassland around them. Time passed slowly. Every second felt like an hour. Jabari shifted slightly. A faint sound escaped his mouth. His eyes fluttered. The lioness stepped forward, her nose brushing gently against his fur. He responded with a weak purr, the softest sound of life. A wave of relief swept over Daniel. He backed away slowly, giving space to the mother and her cub. The other rangers stayed silent, barely breathing. Nia nudged Jabari softly, encouraging him to stand. He wobbled but tried again. His legs shook, but he managed to stay upright for a few seconds before leaning into her side. Then something extraordinary happened. Nia turned her eyes toward Daniel. Again, for a moment, she simply looked at him. No growl, no sound, just a long, silent stare. And then, with quiet strength, she let out a soft roar, a sound that carried no threat, only gratitude. Daniel felt the weight of that moment settle. Deep in his chest, it was more powerful than any words, more honest than any gesture. It was a thank you that came from the very heart of the wild. Without another sound, Nia turned and gently guided Jabari back into the tall grass. Together, they walked away, disappearing into the golden waves of the savannah. The rangers remained, frozen, overwhelmed by what they had just witnessed. Daniel finally spoke, his voice low and filled with awe. "This is something I will carry forever." That encounter became more than a memory. It became a legend, a story, told to new rangers, whispered beside campfires, passed from one heart to another. It reminded everyone that the wild is not just a place of survival, but also of connection. That even the fiercest animals can show love, trust, and hope. And above all, it proved that compassion is a language understood by all creatures, even those who never speak a single word.